Yeah, well, protests outside, but certainly not inside Nompumelelo. And I'm joined this time around by Thembinkosi Bonagelo, who is the competition commissioner as well here in South Africa. As you can see, those were just visuals of just the open session that is set to begin in a few moments' time as well. We are expecting that Cyril Ramaphosa will lead the other leaders as well. Michel Temer from Brazil, Narendra Modi from India as well, Vladimir Putin from Russia, as well as Xi Jinping from China. And that is something we will take as soon as it begins. As I said, Thembinkosi Bonagelo, competition commissioner, joining me as well here as we unpack perhaps the BRICS notion as well, how you are collaborating perhaps with your counterparts. What are you finding is the key message for you with regards to this BRICS summit this time around?
Well, this summit comes at a time when there is a huge debate about the trading situation globally. And I think it is, in that sense, giving a lot of hope because all the big countries here are committing to a trading system that is more fair and open and inclusive. From a working together point of view, we have been having meetings with various people bilaterally as well as multilaterally. So it's a very good space to interact, share ideas on the specific areas that we pursue. So in our competition space, I mean, we collaborate quite a lot with our BRICS counterparts. We have a conference we hold every 2 years. Next one will be next year. So as South Africa chairs BRICS, will be taking over the presidency. We will also be chairing the forum of competition authorities. Yeah,
deepening those ties with not just BRICS, but the emerging nations, with the global world really, considering how competition itself has become even more topical, as of late. I mean, not just so long ago, the EU has got issues with how Google has perhaps got issues regarding just how they've monopolized the internet search engine. Those sort of issues keep springing up in sectors of the economy that are seriously critical. How are you engaging with your counterparts to find the best ways to find resolutions to these sort of issues?
We've identified sectors where we think we should be working together much more closely. These are areas where there are very strong global value chains. You were mentioning now techno companies. These tend to be large multinationals, and you need to collaborate in order to tackle issues in those sectors. So we've got working groups looking at that. I mean, these companies, often the winner takes all, the technology companies. You were mentioning Google now. Very hard to find competitors in that space, and you can mention many of them. How do you regulate in an environment like that, where everything is getting digitalized, but those who control access to that world are only few and too large? So these are the areas we're working with them on. Pharmaceuticals, again, the suppliers there are global multinationals, but the need is the biggest in our own developing and emerging economies. How then do we interface with these types of companies in markets like that? So it's been quite helpful to get a perspective from each other as well in terms of what you can do locally in areas where you have a great need for some of these services and products.
Getting the expertise into your into the competition commission is also quite critical. Are you able to attract the right kind of people to help you with those sort of things, to perhaps not just on a temporary basis but more full-time, because the technology thing is not going away, for example, so you need to consistently refresh and have those expertise on hand?
We are tooling up, but things are happening fast. I think it's not only ourselves, even developed economies are talking about this, that inside the competition authorities, we need people who understand technology and how things work in that world. For an example, we know now that there are cartels where it's the algorithms that fix the prices. So you need people who understand that. So it's no longer the traditional meeting and agreeing on things. So it's going to take time, but I think we are all aware that we must tool up
Yeah. At the same time, my final question is just with regards to, you say that you have the conference with the BRICS leaders yourselves, or BRICS counterparts rather, every 2 years. You had one in November last year, the next one will be next year. So from this summit in itself, what are you then looking to come out of this summit with?
The summit usually gives us a framework, a broad framework. So you will see in the declaration there is likely to be something, for an example, on competition. So that's where we take the cue from, and hopefully the discussions here lay the basis for the technical teams such as ours, who then go and make sure that we implement, we take these high-level resolutions and declarations and actually drill down into implementation. And that's what we're here for.
Implementation being the key word there as well. Thank you so much for your time, Commissioner. That is Thembinkosi Bonagele, who is the Competition Commissioner here in South Africa as well. Well, Nompumelelo, as you've said, the 10th BRICS Summit here at the Sandton Convention Center continuing to move on as well. Topics galore, interactions galore, collaboration galore as well. We will head to that open session as soon as it begins, as I said a little bit earlier on, expecting all 5 presidents to be seated, and perhaps to chair that meeting is Cyril Ramaphosa, and share perhaps some thoughts around collaboration and a closed door meeting that they will have a little bit later on as well. All that and more still to come. As you can see, delegates as well set to be in that closed room session. It's about to begin hopefully very soon. We will wait then for the leaders of the nations. But it is goodbye from us for now. Nompumelelo, I'll chat to you a little bit later.
Thanks very much, Arabile. Well,